In the quiet town of Blackwood, there stood an old abandoned mansion at the edge of a dense forest. For as long as anyone could remember, no one had lived there, and rumors swirled about the strange occurrences within its walls. But the most chilling of all the legends revolved around an antique mirror that still hung in one of the upstairs bedrooms, a mirror known to the townsfolk as the Whispering Mirror. For decades, no one dared to approach the mansion. They whispered that anyone who gazed into the mirror's reflection could hear faint voices calling from beyond. Some claimed it was the souls of the house's former residents, trapped within the glass, while others spoke of a far darker presence, something ancient and malevolent that beckoned people to their doom. One autumn evening, a curious young woman named Lily arrived in Blackwood. An antique collector with a fascination for the supernatural, Lily had heard the stories about the mirror and felt drawn to it. Skeptical yet intrigued, she decided to visit the mansion, hoping to find the legendary artifact for herself. The locals warned her to stay away, but Lily was undeterred. Armed with a flashlight and a notebook, she made her way to the mansion, just as the sun dipped below the horizon. The air grew colder as she stepped through the rotting doorframe, her footsteps echoing in the vast, empty halls. Dust clung to every surface, and the faint scent of decay filled the air. Climbing the creaky staircase to the second floor, Lily felt a growing sense of unease, but she pressed on. When she reached the bedroom, her eyes immediately fell upon the mirror. It was large, with an ornate gold frame that had long since tarnished. The glass itself was cloudy, as though time had eroded its once clear surface. And yet, she could see her reflection clearly, too clearly. Lily approached the mirror cautiously, running her fingers over the delicate carvings in the frame. Suddenly, a faint whisper echoed in the room. She froze. It was so soft that she could barely make out the words, but there was no mistaking it. The sound was coming from the mirror. Heart racing, Lily leaned in closer. The whispers grew louder, but they were incoherent, as though multiple voices were speaking at once. As she stared into the glass, her reflection began to distort. Her eyes seemed darker, her face gaunt. A cold draft swept through the room, and the whispers became more distinct. "Help us," the voices murmured in unison. Lily stumbled back, her breath quickening. She looked around the room, but she was alone. When she turned back to the mirror, the reflection showed something impossible. Standing behind her, in the shadows, was the figure of a woman with hollow eyes and a twisted smile. The whispers intensified, now filled with desperation. "You must free us." Lily's pulse thundered in her ears, and the air around her grew heavy. The figure in the mirror reached out a hand, pressing it against the glass from the other side. Without thinking, Lily raised her own hand to meet it, her fingertips hovering just above the cold surface. Suddenly, the woman in the mirror spoke, her voice no longer a whisper, but a low, sinister growl. "Or join us." The room plunged into darkness, and a bone-chilling cold swept over Lily. She tried to pull her hand away from the mirror, but it wouldn't budge. The glass beneath her palm rippled like water, and before she could scream, she was pulled inside. When the townspeople found the mansion the next morning, there was no sign of Lily, only the mirror, which now hung silent and still. Yet if one were to listen closely on a quiet night, they might hear a faint whisper coming from the glass, a new voice crying out for help, trapped in the whispering mirror forever. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more videos.